Welcome dear students, this is our third lecture of biology and myself Professor P.B. Sargade, and in today's lecture we will discuss about the syllabus of biology for standard 11th. Now firstly we will start by the first topic. In all, if you see the content of our textbook, you will find that there are total 16 topics in our biology syllabus, and from that syllabus, the first topic is living world. Now, in your standard 9th and 10th, you have studied about the environment and living world. Now, in this first topic, living world, you are going to study in detail the basic principles of life, the factors which are affecting the living world, as well as the living and non-living entities which are included in the environment. In this, we will see various techniques to study the living world in detail. The technique of herbarium, where the plants are preserved in a systematic manner on a paper sheet and its classification is given there, and it is called as herbarium. Then the second is botanical gardens. All of you know the gardens, but in botanical gardens, various plant species, they are cultivated in a scientific manner and they are free to observe to all the population, and these botanical gardens, they cover a very large area. Then the next is museums. Now all of you have observed or you have visited various museums in your lifetime, but these museums, they include various plant as well as animal specimens which are preserved as well as in living condition. Then the next is zoological parks. In zoological parks, the various species of animals, both from vertebrate and non-vertebrate groups, they are preserved, they are kept there, and the people, they are able to see the variety of animals in zoological parks. Then the biodiversity parks. Now these cover a very large area, and this biodiversity park, it includes both the various plants and animal species, and these biodiversity parks, they are providing an opportunity to study the flora and fauna in the nature. And this is about the living world, and in this topic we are going to see all these points in detail. Now I will give you the brief account of all the topics which we are going to cover. Now the second topic is systematics of living organisms. All of you know that the scientific name of the human being is Homo sapiens. Now Homo is the genus and sapiens is the species. All of you have studied in our 9th and 10th standard. Now the systematics, it is based on the taxonomy. It is the method of classification of all plants and living organisms. Now the classification, it includes the artificial, natural and phylogenetic classification, and in this topic we are going to study in detail, and we are talking about briefly about this. Then three domains of life, then chemotaxonomy, then numerical taxonomy. Now these are the various branches of the taxonomy, and by this way we are going to observe the systematics of living organisms. Then there is cladogram, then phylogeny and DNA barcoding. Now these are the sub points of the systematics of living organisms. Then moving towards the next slide, the taxonomic categories. Now this topic is very vast and we are going to see in detail. Then taxonomic hierarchy. Now the basic is the taxon. Then we will see the units of classification. In that, a very systematic pattern is given, and in this, from kingdom, then subkingdom, division or phylum, then class, cohort or order, then family, genus, and finally the species. Now these are the units of classification, and when our classes will commence, we will see in detail. Then the next is nomenclature. every plant and every animal in the nature, it may be microscopic or megascopic, it is having a scientific name, and that scientific name is given as we discuss about on the units of classification, and it is called as nomenclature. Then five kingdom system of classification we will study in detail, which is put forward by the Robert Whitaker, and in that we will see kingdom Monera, kingdom Protista, kingdom Plantae, kingdom Fungi, and kingdom Animalia. Now moving towards the next topic or next chapter in our textbook, that is the kingdom Plantae. As the name suggests, we will discuss about plants in this topic, kingdom Plantae. Now the kingdom Plantae, it has meant two divisions, cryptogams and phaneograms. In cryptogams, we will study in detail the division Thallophyta, the division Bryophyta, and division Pteridophyta. And when we discuss about the phaneograms, we will see gymnospermy and angiospermy. Now angiospermy, as we know, these are the flowering plants. Then we will also discuss about the plant life cycle and alternation of generations. And when we consider about this topic, kingdom Plantae, we will study the various types of plants in detail. Now moving towards the next topic, that topic is kingdom Animalia, and this is also a very important topic and very interesting topic. Now in this topic, the first point we are going to study is the criteria for animal classification. Now in your standard 9th and 10th, you have studied the non-chordates and chordates, or invertebrates and vertebrate animals. Now we will see in detail the criteria for animal classification. Then we will see the animal body plan. Then the animal classification. Now the animals, they are classified on the basis of their characters, the anatomical as well as morphological characters, the habitat. And in that, the first is phylum Porifera, then phylum Nidaria, phylum Ctenophora, phylum Platyhelminthes, then phylum Aschelminthes or Nemathelminthes, then the phylum Annelida, phylum Arthropoda, phylum Mollusca, phylum Echindermata, phylum Hemichordata, and the next phylum is phylum Chordata. Now this phylum Chordata is again subdivided into three subphylum or three subphyla. The first subphylum is Urochordata, it is also called as Tunicata. Then next subphylum is Cephalochordata, and the third one is subphylum Vertebrata. Now I am telling you briefly, very briefly, we will see in a very detailed manner in our regular classes. Then the superclass Pisces, and the next superclass is Tetrapoda, and it is again subdivided into four subclasses. The first class is Amphibia, the second class is Reptilia, the third class is class Aves, the fourth class is class Mammalia. Now moving towards the next topic is cell structure and organization. Now in our standard 9th and 10th, we have studied that cell is the basic structural and functional unit of all living organisms. Now in detail, we will study the structure of cell, then kinds of cells. It means the prokaryotic cells and eukaryotic cells. You may have studied the prokaryotic and eukaryotic cells in standard 10th. Then components of eukaryotic cells. The first component is cell wall, then cell membrane. The third component is cytoplasm, then endoplasmic reticulum, or we call it as ER, then Golgi complex or Golgi body, lysosomes, vacuoles, glyoxysomes, mitochondria, then plastids, ribosomes, nucleus, and cytoskeleton. Now in this topic, we will see the cell structure and its organization. Moving towards the next topic is the biomolecules. Now this is also a very important topic, and in this topic we will study the biomolecules in the cells, and these biomolecules, they build up the body of plants and animals. And what are the biomolecules in the cell? The first, they are the carbohydrates, and in this we will see the classification of carbohydrates and what are the carbohydrates and what is their importance in the living world or to the plants and animals. Then we will see lipids, then proteins. All of you know that proteins are the building blocks of the body. Then the most important is the nucleic acids. The nucleic acids, as you have studied in your lower classes, they consist of DNA, that is deoxyribonucleic acid, and RNA. And the next point in this topic, biomolecules, is the enzymes. Now moving towards the next topic is the cell division. Now in previous topics, as I discussed earlier, we are going to study the cell structure, and now in this topic we are going to study the cell division. Now cell division is the phenomenon which is responsible for growth and development of all living beings, and it is characterized by a very unique feature. It is called as cell cycle, and this cell cycle we are going to study in detail. Then we are going to study the types of cell division. You have heard this cell division earlier. Now the cell division, it is of when we broadly consider, it is of three types: amitosis, mitosis, and meiosis. Now depending on their nature, these cell divisions have their characteristics and their pattern, and that pattern we are going to study in detail. And the final point is the significance of cell division. Now moving towards the next topic, the next 8th topic is the plant tissues and anatomy. And in this we are going to study the plant tissue. What is tissue? Then the meristematic tissue. Now when we consider about the plant body, as the human body and other animals' body is made up of various cells, the plant tissues, they are responsible for the survival and the development of the plant, as well as we got food from the plant. Now we will discuss in next topics. But the tissues, they have meristematic tissue, the permanent tissue. We are going to study the tissue systems, secondary growth in plants, then wood, cork cambium and secondary growth, the anatomy of root, stem and leaf. All of you know that when we consider a plant, the plant, it is mainly formed from three structures: the root, stem and leaf. And we are going to study in detail the plant tissues and the structure of plants in this topic. Now moving towards the next slide. Now this is about the topic 9th, morphology of flowering plants. Now when we consider the flora in the nature, the flowering plants we oftenly see in the nature, and in these flowering plants we consider firstly the angiosperms. In this, the morphology, as discussed in earlier topic, the root, the stem, there are various types of root we are going to study. Then the stems also have various types. Then leaf, various types of leaves. Then inflorescence. Now inflorescence, in our lower standards we have studied the arrangement of flowers on the plants. Then the structure of flower. Next point is fruit and seed. Now in this topic we will study the various parts of the plants and morphology also. Moving towards the next important topic is the animal tissue. Now this is a very interesting topic, and in this animal tissue, all of you know that the cells, same kind of cells, they come together and they form tissue. And here the first point is histology. All of you know that histology is a branch of biology which deals with the microscopic study of the various tissues. Then when we study about the animal tissue, there are various types of tissues. The first is epithelial tissues, and epithelial tissue is again subdivided into simple epithelium and compound epithelium. Then next tissue is connective tissue, and in this the first is connective tissue proper, then the second is dense connective tissue, the third is supporting connective tissue, and then the third type is muscular tissue. And in this, the types of muscular tissues we are going to study, and at the same time we are going to see the nervous tissue. Now students, remember, I am telling you, now this is the introductory lecture of our syllabus, so I am telling you very briefly, but we are going to study in detail when our classes will commence. Now moving towards the next chapter, and it is the study of animal type cockroach. Now for our 11th standard curriculum, we have an animal type cockroach. Now you have observed the cockroaches in your homes and various buildings, and this cockroach is very unique animal. The cockroach is oftenly called as living fossil because when the cockroach was emerged, a very few or minor changes have occurred in the body of cockroach. And in this topic, cockroach, we are going to study habit and habitat of the cockroach. Now the cockroach we are going to study is the Periplaneta americana, the genus and species. Then the systematic position, then external morphology of the cockroach, then body cavity of the cockroach, then the digestive system proper of the cockroach, then circulatory system, or we also called it as blood vascular system, then respiratory system or tracheal system, and excretory system of the cockroach. That means we are going to study various body systems of the cockroach. Now moving towards the next topic or the next point, next slide, is the nervous system, then reproductive system in cockroach. The reproductive system of cockroach is again subdivided into two parts: the male reproductive system and the female reproductive system. And the two main points when we consider the human population is that the interactions with mankind, the interactions of cockroach with mankind, and the control measures of cockroach. Moving towards the next topic, this is our 12th topic, photosynthesis. All of you know that all green plants, they prepare their own food or they synthesize their own food with the help of chloroplast. And in this topic, photosynthesis, we are going to study in detail the actual biochemical mechanism of photosynthesis. And the entity which is responsible for the photosynthesis is chloroplast. We are going to see the structure of chloroplast. Then all of you know that in the presence of light and carbon dioxide, the photosynthesis occurs. Then nature of light, mechanism of photosynthesis, then the light reaction, photophosphorylation, then dark reaction, and photorespiration, then C4 pathway or Hack-Slack pathway. These are the sub points in photosynthesis. Then next is CAM, CAM, or it is also called as crassulacean acid metabolism. Then the factors affecting photosynthesis. The first factor is external factors and the second factor is internal factors. And then in this topic we are going to see the significance of photosynthesis. Now moving towards the next topic, which is our third topic, which is also very important, and that is respiration and energy transfer. We will see very briefly the sub points in this topic. That is, the first point is formation of ATP. Now this ATP is adenosine triphosphate, as all of you know, and how this ATP is formed we will see in this point. Then anaerobic respiration. What is respiration and how the anaerobic respiration occurs? Then aerobic respiration. What is aerobic respiration, how it occurs? Then utility of stepwise oxidation and respiratory quotient. Now in this topic, respiration and energy transfer, we are going to study in detail these sub points. Now moving towards the next topic is human nutrition. Now when we consider our syllabus, this is also a very important topic, human nutrition. And in this topic we will see the human digestive system, then histological structure of alimentary canal. Now the human digestive system, it is consisting of various organs, and those organs, they form the digestive system. We will study the histological structure of alimentary canal, then various digestive glands. At the same time, the digestive glands, they are responsible for the digestion of the food. Then physiology of digestion, how the actual process of digestion occurs. Then absorption, assimilation and egestion. These are the sub points in the physiology of digestion, how the digested food is absorbed, the nutritive part is assimilated, and undigested part is egested, or it is thrown out of the body. Then we will see the nutritional disorders and disorders of the digestive system. Now moving towards the next topic, the 15th topic, it is the excretion and osmoregulation. The excretion and osmoregulation, it is very much important when we consider the living world. And when we consider the animals, the excretion and osmoregulation is very much important. And in this, we will see the following points: excretion and excretory products, then excretory system in human being. In that, we are going to study the kidney, the ureters, the urinary bladder. Then for urine formation, that is the physiology of urine formation, then concentration of urine, the composition of urine, and the disorders and diseases. Now in this topic, we are going to study in detail the excretory system of human being and how the osmoregulation is taken place. Now these are the sub points in this topic. Now moving towards the next and our last topic from our biology syllabus of standard 11th, it is the skeleton and movements. All vertebrate animals, when we consider, they have an endoskeleton. There are two types of skeletons, the exoskeleton and endoskeleton. And in this topic, we are going to study the endoskeleton of the human being. And when we study the endoskeleton of the human being, it is divided into following subpoints: the movements and locomotion, then location and structure of skeletal muscles. All of you must remember, only the bones, they are not forming the skeleton. The muscles, the skeletal muscles which are attached to these bones, they carry out the movement of the body. In this, location and structure of skeletal muscles, then working of skeletal muscles, how the skeletal muscles they work, then mechanism of muscle contraction, then physiology of muscle relaxation, then relaxation of muscle fibers, and the properties of muscles on electrical stimulation. That means we are going to study in detail the skeletal muscles, their physiology, then group of skeleton. The skeleton is grouped into two main parts. It is, the first part is axial skeleton, which is in the center of the animal or the human body, then appendicular skeleton. And in this topic, we are going to study in detail the axial and appendicular skeleton of the human being. Then we will study the types of joints, then disorders related to muscles and disorders related to bones. Now students, when we consider the syllabus of the standard 11th, we are going to study 16 topics which are very much important, and these topics I have given you a brief account of the sub points, and these topics you are going to study in your curriculum. Now thank you all of you. We will see the next point in our next lecture. Thank you all of you.